Hey, what's up, good people? How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing? Who we got? Who we got? Let me know where you guys are coming from. Hey, today we know that the Fed meeting is coming. Y'all can see right there. Y'all know how we do it. We do this live. Hey, if you're new to the page, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell, good people. I see you guys from all over the world. Yep, let's make money. Let's make money. Hey, so listen. For 2 minutes, I'm going to timestamp this. If you're watching this for the first time, you can go right to the Fed meeting. Of course, I'm going to air it live. But this is Early Walker, and today I joined him and we did a press conference. And in this press conference, we are helping children that are suffering from gun violence. Okay? On my way driving downtown Chicago, guess what? I got into an accident. We're in this camera right here.
Okay.
Got into an accident. But I'm not going to let that deter me. And it was just not good. And I'm going, every time I go to do good, there's a scripture that says, when I go to do good, evil is always present. You know, but tell him what you do. Take a minute, tell him what you do. And I want you guys to help me partner with him. He's trying to take 100 kids that have been affected by gun violence to shopping spree. And I'm partnering with him, both with you guys and financially. Okay, tell them what's going on. Look at that camera right there.
Well, first, thank you for having me, Larry.
Tell them your name.
Appreciate it. My name is Early Walker, for those of you that don't know. And I have been doing this for the last 10 years. So basically, what we've done is we've targeted kids who have lost their parents due to gun violence here in Chicago. As you all know, we have a huge pandemic as it relates to gun violence. And so basically, we've tried to take these kids and change their narrative, change their mindset, change their mind frame. You know, this will be usually the first holiday that they're spending without, you know, their particular parents. And so basically we try to offset that to make their holiday a little better. So our mission has just grown. It's grown so much more to where now we need help. You know, I've been doing this on my own for 10 years, but we've got 100 kids that we need to take on a shopping spree. We need to take Christmas that have lost their parents due to gun violence.
Right,
and so
we got 30 seconds. Yep.
We are calling on help. So we
Yep.
appreciate this. We appreciate you, Larry, for that. And anything you guys can do. Our website is www.imtellingdon'tshoot.org. www.imtellingdon'tshoot.org. If you want to give and you want to write off, you can email us as well at don'tshootimtelling@gmail.com.
Here's the Fed decision coming up. Let's do it. I've been knowing him. He's been funding this himself for the last 10 years. And he just needs a little help this year. So let's get in. Myself with you guys. Let's do it. I'm going to leave a link below with those in it. He's the real deal. All right.
Thank you.
Early Walker. Give them, if they want to make a sizable donation, tell them what it is.
So it's www.imtellingdon'tshoot.org, or you can email us at don'tshootimtelling@gmail.com. Don'tshootimtelling@gmail.com.
Right. If you want to make a sizable donation, he'll provide documents for you to write it off.
Yes.
He has done this year after year. Here we go.
The Federal Reserve raising interest rates by 50 basis points to a new range of 4.25% to 4.5% as expected. The Fed saying ongoing rate hikes will be appropriate. The Fed also raising the 2023 median forecast of Fed officials went up to 5.1%. It had been at 4.6%. This is higher than market expectations for a peak funds rate. It is, by the way, right in line with the Fed survey at 5.15. 17 of the 19 officials are now above 5% in their forecast for the 2023 funds rate. None were above 5 in the September forecast. 7 officials, in fact, are at 5.40, and there's one person who's at 5.63 for all the way through 2025. The funds rate then see going down to 4.1% in 2024, 3.1 in 2025, with a long run rate eventually being reached of 2.5%. The Fed repeats it will take account of the cumulative effect of rate hikes and lags in setting policy. This is again from the statement. It will continue to reduce the balance sheet by $95 billion a month. It says growth has been modest, inflation elevated, unemployment low, and job gains robust. So it still sees that tight job market out there. It raised the GDP this year to 0.5 from 0.2. That's because of the strength we've seen in the fourth quarter, but it lowered it to just a half a point for next year from 1.2, ratcheted up a bit the unemployment rate to 4.6 from 4.4 for next year, stays there for 2 years, by the way, and it sees inflation gradually declining to 2% by 2025. So 50 basis points, Kelly, but pretty hawkish when it comes to the outlook, and good unanimity, by the way. The statement, the policy decision was unanimous. Good unanimity also, at least by the board right now, on where rates are headed, and that is above 5%.
Hawkish, Steve, is the conclusion from markets where we've seen stocks lose all of their gains, in some cases turn negative, and the 10-year yield up about 3.5 basis points. Again, this is the first reaction. It's going to be a long afternoon. We have maybe 2 hours until we're done hearing from Powell. That said, what's the most hawkish thing about this to you? Is it those rate hike projections, the dots as we call them, especially into next year in 2024?
So there's a discussion that I think we can have, Kelly, maybe in one of your regular terrific 1 o'clock shows, not the special, about whether the Fed is now using the dots as more of a policy tool. And I think the Fed's sending a message here that while the market has taken all of this very dovishly, loosened up financial conditions, that part of this is a message, hey, we're going above 5%. We intend to be very tough here when it comes to inflation. So that 5.1%, not just by itself, but the number of people, the change from the September survey, none of them were above 5% before, and many of them now being above, what did I say here? 17 officials now above 5. 7 officials are at 540 or higher. So there was a pretty hawkish, sizably hawkish contingent on the Federal Reserve right now.
It sure sounds like the consensus, so to speak, is changing around that, Steve. All right, so stick around, please. We're going to talk with you a lot more, I'm sure, about this. Let's bring in our panel as well. Again, we've got a lot of folks out there, and let's bring in and introduce Bob Pisani as well. Also, Rick Santelli joins the conversation. So this group, as you can see in front of you here, has a lot of expertise, and maybe we'll send it out to Rick first with some of the reaction on the interest rate and macro side of things. It wasn't for sure, Rick. It was definitely movement in the marketplace, but it was nothing that was, I would characterize as being unexpected or out of the ordinary. Markets did move, but not by a whole heck of a lot.
No, and when you set the table for interest rates, to give some context, they have been moving rather dramatically lower considering the Fed's path. And today we see that 2-year notes spiked up. They spiked up towards 426-ish, and they're coming back down a bit, but they're a little more sticky than 10s, which popped up to right under 355, came back down a bit. These are not huge moves, and in the context of the fact that we're even near 350 after having a 4.25 high yield close for 10s, or 470 high yield close for 2-year, and now hovering at what, 422, 423? These rates are low, and when you look at dot plots and how far out they're predicting inflation is going to be stubborn, something isn't squaring here. And it's going to be interesting to hear the Q&A, because the markets have definitely become very opinionated, and investors are pushing back more in the treasuries than they are in equities. Yes, the equity knee-jerk reaction was down, but it wasn't huge. And if you look at the spreads, 2s to 10s inverted several basis points more, and the dollar index improved a bit. That latter, I think the dollar index will be a good tell during the Q&A.
And we go to Bob Pisani for more on these stock moves that we're seeing. Bob, what do you make of it?
Well, I think Dom's got it right. We were down about 300-point peak to trough in the few minutes after the Fed announcement came back, and we're now flattish, essentially, on the Dow. So the market has been looking to break out of 4,100 on the S&P. Why? Because that would break the downtrend, this pattern of lower lows and lower highs we've had all year. But we've had a lot of resistance there. We've failed several times. We had a strong PPI last.
Hey, what's up, good people? Let me cut this down. Let me cut it down. Hey, how you guys doing? Well, you see what's going on, right? The market had priced it in. The market had already priced in 50 basis points. As we know, I told you guys that's what we were looking at, right? But the Fed forecast in 2023 is above 5%. They don't want inflation to lag on. They don't want stagflation. They don't want to ease up right now and do 25 or go neutral and then have inflation come roaring back. That happened before some Feds ago, right? And so we don't, the Fed Jerome Powell just don't want that to happen again. So he's not taking his foot off of the pedal. And so that's why the market, as you could see, it spiked and then it came back, it dropped, and then it came back. So it's just kind of flat right now. The dollar index is down. That's cool. As we see, the dollar index is down, and the 2-year went down and the 5-year was up. Let's look at the indices and see what's going on. As you guys could see, the Dow was positive and now it's negative. Let's compare that. Let me put that down for you guys. Let me compare that with the S&P and the NASDAQ. And as we could see, all right, NASDAQ don't want to show up. All right, whatever. Oh, so we could see that, you see that fall off? Here's the announcement, good people. Look at this, straight fall off, right? And so there's a NASDAQ. So now we could see that the indices are trending downward. And so that's what I wanted to do. Hey, I'm going to stay on with you guys for a little while because the Fed is going to be talking. And so I just want to go back to what we were talking about. What you guys are talking about now? Selling. All right. DCA all into, okay. All right. Put session. Yeah. Well, it dropped because of what the Fed is expecting to do in 2023. So instead of him going neutral now, he's going to continue to raise interest rates in 2023. So it's going negative based on future news. Follow? And so that's what's going. Yep. Tesla. Yep. Yeah. Tesla's. Yeah. I mean, you guys know where I am on Tesla, man. I don't want people to lose money. I really don't. And for those of you that have Tesla, I mean, if you got Tesla for another 5 years, you're good. Tesla's 155 now. If you got Tesla long term, you're good. But look at what happened to Tesla in the last month, right? Look at what happened to Tesla year to date. I mean, it's down 60%. It's down 60%. And why is it down 60%? And, we know what's happening in Shanghai. We know what's happening with production, right? We know what's happening with delivery numbers. We know what's happening with the chip problem. But more than that, in the last 6 weeks, I'm going to continue to say it. It's Twitter. It's Twitter. It's Twitter. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's Twitter. He is not focused on his core audience, his core company, which is Tesla. And it's a distraction. People don't like it. Some are selling and some will be, a lot of them will be back in. They're just waiting to get back in at a better price. And remember, some of these people, that bought Tesla, I talked to somebody that bought Tesla at $100 pre-split, bought Tesla at $100, and they were driving a Tesla. And he told me, him and his wife, that he made 3 times what his Tesla cost with his Tesla stock. So, I mean, another one for time in the market will outweigh trying to time the market. Hey, what's happening, good people? So I still got my good buddy here. That's not him, that's him. So we in this camera here. I still got my good buddy here. I'm just gonna hit this again because he's gotta keep it moving. I just wanna reiterate, good people. This day has not started out good. I had an accident downtown Chicago. It was a fender bender, I'm good. And the other person is good. Their car I stopped and his car just scratched against mine. And it was just not turning out to be a good day for me. But the fact that I was going to do a press conference so we could take care of these kids that suffer from gun violence is just, and I just want to encourage you guys, and I'm not going to lie, I'm still like not 100% myself. I'm to be honest with you, I put on a face for you guys, but I'm feeling a little some kind of way. because I'm like, man, I'm trying to do good and these bad things are happening. But I know at the end of this, and we're going to talk about this for 1 minute, it's going to be good. Early, I've watched him for the last 10 years. He has a towing company, right?
Yep.
He has put tens and tens of thousands of dollars every year for the last 10 years, not asking for money out of his own pocket. And he takes care of these kids that suffer from gun violence. So just go over it again and we'll get right back into the session.
So basically, as I stated earlier, we're in Chicago, of course, and it's a huge problem as it relates to gun violence. And a lot of times the media shows you the shootings, they show you the violence, but they don't ever talk about the aftermaths. What happens to these kids after the fact? Who's raising these kids? What resources do these kids have? And so that's what we've stepped in. So we choose kids every year who have lost their parents due to gun violence, and we take them on a Christmas shopping spree. Well, as years have gone, the list is starting to get bigger. The list is starting to get larger. As Larry stated, I do this on my own. I'm one person, and so that's why we're coming to you. And we went to the media earlier and we're asking for help. We've got 100 kids that we want to take on a shopping spree. We've got 100 kids. Think about that. We've got 100 kids that have lost their families, lost their mother or father to gun violence, and now they're left with either one of the other parents to raise them, or they're left with a grandparent, an auntie, or what have you. And so it's hard. These are kids that they're taking on that they did not think that they were going to have to take on, or they didn't know that this was going to happen. And so we try to spread a little Christmas cheer to show them that the city is behind them, that we're behind them, that the community is behind them. And so, again, if you guys want to contribute, our website is www.imtellingdon'tshoot.org, www.imtellingdon'tshoot.org. Or if you want some type of a write-off, we are a 501c3. You can email me at don'tshootI'mtelling@gmail.com. don'tshootI'mtelling@gmail.com if you want to make some type of a sizable donation, and we can send you a donation letter for a write-off.
We're trying to get these kids some Christmas gifts right now. So time is of the essence. Listen, I vetted him. I know I know him. He's solid, is real. I'm helping. I'm contributing financially, and I'm going to partner with him in the handouts.
Thank you.
when we do that. And so, listen, I want to address one thing. Everybody talking about your white teeth, right? You're like, how can you get that white teeth? Right? Hey, good people, I said the same thing. I said, bruh, man, you making me look like, I'm been drinking tea 15 times a day.
I'm sorry.
So listen, I want to address this because I knew this was coming on. Say, people make bad decisions, guns don't. Listen, this is not a debate. It's not and I'm not putting you on Front Street Gator. You're true. That the statement that you made is true. I agree with you. Mm-hmm. But the end result is these kids are still there. Just like our servicemen. My great uncle did Normandy. He just passed at almost 100 years old. My grandfather, my dad, we served. But the fact of the matter is, we get soldiers that get killed, right? So do we get mad at the guns? Do we get mad at the war? And don't do anything for our soldiers? No, the end result is we take care of the soldiers, right? Mm-hmm. And so in this instance, let's not hijack the narrative here. Let's just take care of the kids. Some of these kids now, the sister or the brother has to be the mother and the father to help take care of their kids. Mm-hmm. This man has took one family and put them in an apartment and paid their rent for a month. For a year. Yeah. For a year, right? And somebody else said, move out of Chicago. It's not that easy. No. If you're a child. We're talking about the innocent children that are left motherless and fatherless due to gun violence. So let's stay focused. I charge you guys to get involved in the community from wherever you are. And if you think one person doesn't make a difference, I disagree with you. But I know you guys know that we are world changers. You guys are world changers. Mm-hmm. We are world changers. So please, I'm going to leave the information at the end. And please help me, help them in this time of giving. We just want to give them some gift cards. And we're going to go to the stores and do some shopping with them so they could at least have a teddy bear. Some of these kids witness their mother, one witnessed their mother get brutally shot. Innocent kids, all right? So doing nothing is never the answer. I never do this on my page, but it's Christmas. So if you could spare a little, just give a little, right? And don't discourage anybody else. And if you could spare a lot, give a lot. And if you want to write off, because this is tax loss harvesting season, then here's a way to do it. Speaking of that, I'm going to leave a video right at the end of this. And it talks about tax loss harvesting, how to pay less taxes, how to give Uncle Sam less money for you. So you guys help early and help these kids. I'm going to help you guys. I need everybody to watch the video that's going to be in this box. And I'll be back when the Fed starts talking, okay? I'll just put a video together and we'll just talk only about the market, all right? I love you guys. I know you guys are the good guys. Live, love. You're welcome. You're welcome. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Do the right thing. Be kind. Rewind. Do it again.